The movie stars Mark Wahlberg. And it's about
Marky and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I love you, Mark.
and it's about the Boston Marathon bombing that happened in 2013. And Peter Berg directed it, and he got an amazing cast together, which I was honored to be part of.
Dude, you earned every role.
Yeah.
You earned every bit of that.
Yes,
we'll get into that, but
yes,
go through
it. Yeah, we shot it in Boston. We depicted the story as honest and as true as possible. We honored the people that fought that week when the tragedy happened, and yeah, I think we made a hell of a movie. So if you haven't seen Patriots Day yet, and you want to know more about what happened that day in 2013 in Boston, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah.
But so the film itself chronicles like what, a 48-hour period, a 72-hour period, like a 3-day period before,
exactly.
during, and after.
Mainly the manhunt,
right?
When it happened, right after the bombing. Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of setup with the characters of like creating the backstory between your character, your brother's character, you know, that type of aesthetic.
Yeah,
but it's
dynamic.
really, you're right, it's really centric around what happens in the city.
Exactly, and how everybody was affected by it. We follow Mark Wahlberg's character, we follow J.K. Simmons' character, Kevin Bacon's character. So John Goodman is in it too, and it's just the crazy thing is that it was real. Yeah. It's not fiction.
Yeah,
dude, I was gonna save this story to bring up, but now it's an appropriate time. When we were hanging out about a year ago, you told me a story about what it was like to film on set. With you had for those of you, correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, but from what I remember, the film had incorporated people from the actual incident as extras and as people on set. So there was real Boston PD there
real
playing
there?
cops.
Absolutely.
There was real victims of the bombing being victims on set. So it brought back a lot of nostalgia, a lot of post-traumatic stress. I can't even imagine. I wasn't there. I have no perspective other than what I've heard, third person from people. But one of the stories I felt was really interesting and to highlight was, didn't a police officer come up to you and say it to not so intricate words, say like, I know you're an actor, I know this is all fake, but bringing this back into my world, I want to beat the shit out of you right now. So why don't you go in your terms, explain this, because I'm sure I'm butchering this now.
No, absolutely. I know what you're talking about. It was actually one of the most weirdest, but the best compliment as an actor I could ever get. And we were filming the bombing scene. We had over like 600 extras just for the bombing scene. And when I walked out, I was fully dressed in my costume and whatnot. I was preparing. I was secluded from everybody, but everybody could see me, right? So it was insane because walking up to the set, it was they built the set on an airstrip, on a private airstrip. So it was huge. It was insane. So when I was walking to the set, I heard the crowd cheering and whatnot. And the moment I got on the set, everybody went quiet. So like imagine just 600 people just going quiet and just all looking at me, and they all like started whispering.
Dude, props to you for like keeping it together as an actor with that.
You, man.
That's intense.
Yeah. Well, question about that, because you said it felt kind of weird. In this internet world, people are stupid. Yeah. Have you gotten any kind of weird internet backlash from playing like people like almost like your Danny Glover in The Color Purple, and they still hate you for 20 years?
Yeah.
Before you get into the backlash, I want to hear the rest of the story. Sorry, straight up, like your call. I love that. This is a great question, but like, come on, like I want to hear the rest of this. So you're at the airport. You build the set out.
Exactly. So I'm walking to the set, and then suddenly everybody sees me, and they all go quiet, and I hear them whispering. I mean, they were whispering really loud, so I heard them all saying, "That's the guy." So I'm just like,
that's not funny. I'm sorry.
Trying to prepare, and the great thing is the team behind the movie, they were so supportive, and that's really like something that every actor really needs, and it gets really underrated sometimes. But they were very supportive, and at one point we're about to shoot after like 2 rehearsals, and this police officer, who's a real police officer, he came up to me, and he said, every time I look into your face, I want to squash you with a stone.
Oh God, that's so much more intense than beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, and then he leans over and then tells me, "Good luck." So
like a true Boston.
Yeah, so he knows the situation, but at the same time, he wanted to get that off of his chest, and I loved it, man. That was like I was speechless. I couldn't say anything. I just said thank you. And
this is so amazing to me that these two worlds collide. You have the fictional world of you creating a story, paying homage with your guys' movie of telling the story of what actually happened, and you being this character that is representing a real person, and then you utilize actual people who are in the event that affected them in their real lives. So as an actor, that had to have been so much more difficult, because normally on set that doesn't happen. You know, even if you're playing like I'm sure, what was it? We got the Ted Bundy movie coming out with what's his face? Yeah. Zac Efron didn't fucking worry about Ted Bundy coming into his set, and that's a not thing. He didn't worry about the victims coming up on set and reenacting this.
I was not.
Were you prepped? Did you know that they were going to use real people? So you just showed up on set and they just blindside you? That's wild.
Peter Berg, that's what's amazing working with Peter Berg, is that he loves surprising the actor. He loves not planning things out and just seeing it where it goes. He has a documentary type of filmmaking, that style. And
did a good job.
Yeah, he did. And it's so hard, man. It's so hard, because I remember right before I put down my backpack, when we rehearsed it, right, there was always one woman next to me. And it was just a woman and a guy. Then when we actually shot the scene, the woman was there, but she had a little carriage. So there was a little kid inside the carriage. So
how did it pull on your heartstrings, bro?
We didn't rehearse. So I'm standing there and I'm looking and I see them, and we're filming, and that only heightened the scene just so much more. And slowly I put down my bag, and I swear to God, I had tears in my eyes putting down the bag.
So I'd like to have your insight of how you develop this character, because it is hard playing a villain. Right? It's hard playing a character that happened in real. It's one thing to play the Joker, which is a fictional character. It's another thing to play a person who did a horrific event. You know, so how was your prep for that? How did you get into that as an actor?
You know how people talk about, and actually me and Natasha were talking about this earlier, how people talk about how actors prepare for the part and they gain weight or they build muscle or they,
Christian Bale, whatever.
And then people give them props for that. But actually, why? I don't understand that. That's what we're supposed to do. It's like waking up and then giving somebody a reward for brushing their teeth.
To take notes out there.
You know what I'm saying?
Take notes.
They make videos, they make reviews, they analyze. Oh my God, Christian Bale gained so much. Dude, he's an actor. That's his job.
I'm not paying you $3 million, $5 million, $10 million to just sit on your ass.
So for me, when I was telling people what I was doing, they were surprised. I'm like, why are you surprised? That is what I'm supposed to do. I'm not expecting to get any type of credit for this or any type of reward or any type of recognition. Oh my God, he prepared for his part. We need to, you know what I'm saying? So that's something I never got in this industry. Every time somebody, big shot, I'm not a celebrity yet, but what I'm saying, another, a big star would prepare for Superman or Spider-Man or any role that he needs preparation for, and he gains muscle, like the guy who did Tarzan. He got so much
Skarsgård.
Great actor, right? And on YouTube you can find so many videos and so many just people just talk about him gaining muscle, but that's what he's supposed to do, man. If you're in this for the love of it, and if you're in this with passion, you're not looking for, you're not I'm going to do something special. Let me prepare for the part. Let me gain weight. Obviously, that's what you got to do. So to me, that was nothing special. I had to go, I had to do things that normally in my life would never do. I was watching jihadi videos. I was watching suicide.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your method, I know your background. I know you. Shout out to Mickey Goose. Shout out to Beverly Hills Playhouse. But still, you are one of the actors in this town that approaches things with that level of intent.
100%.
So I think how did that affect you? Having to watch all that stuff. How did that? Not only how did you take that reality and interpret it into a character for a fictional movie. Granted, it's based on a reality, but it's such a blurred line because this is a historical fiction.
Yeah.
It's not I just wrote this script and you have to do this character of Narnia.
Yeah.
It's this shit really happened and people really do this.
And you know what it is? Not only that, but this was my big shot. This was my, as I was in LA for not even like 4 months.
Really?
Yeah, when
Nice.
it was only 4
Nice.
months.
Hey, wait, did you suck a dick?
Damn.
Dude, Harvey Weinstein's already in jail, bro. We don't need to bring up bullshit. Why are you bringing up bullshit?
He was out back then. He was out back then. That's all I'm saying.
The audition.
I know. No, we're fucking around. It's all good.
So what happened was, so when I came out to LA, I did not know anybody, man. I did not know anybody, but I knew one thing, that I was not gonna leave this town until I made, or I lived up to whatever I said that I was gonna do. So to have that opportunity to work with Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Bacon and John Goodman, with these heroes. I mean, come on, like Ted 2, freaking, you know what I mean? Mark Wahlberg, The Departed. Like, I grew up on these movies, you know what I'm saying? And now I get the chance to like be with this guy in a movie. That was, to me, that was the opportunity of a lifetime. So I had to commit myself 100%. So, and it did affect me, absolutely. I remember, like, listening to these songs and watching these videos. One point, my mother was calling me, and I had it playing it in the background. And she's like, "What are you listening to?" I didn't even know. Like, I was listening to it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm just turning this off."
Oh my God,
that's my mother in me. Like, every time she calls me or sees me anywhere, she's like, "What are you listening to?" There's like some dude in the back, like these fucking bitches need to stop treating men like shit. She's like, "CJ, what are you listening to?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing, mother."
Oh my God, nothing. So, yeah, man. So, it was a hell of a ride. It was. I had to feel somewhat. First of all, like, you got to know this about the guy, right? He had a lot of friends.
Break it down, Let's get in depth, because I feel like this is an insight that people don't get from just watching the movie.
They don't know exactly. Yeah. They assume a lot of things, but they don't know exactly what happened. So he had a lot of friends. He was very successful socially. I actually trained with his boxing coach.
Really?
For multiple sessions.
Wow.
In his gym.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're going completely method.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I told him.
I'm so glad that you didn't get lost in the character.
Yeah. No Heath Ledger. No Heath Ledger up in this thing. Yeah. We don't need that.
Anyways, I love your commitment. Please break it down for us.
Yeah. So we had multiple sessions in his in the boxing gym, and he gave me just things that I could not get from any journalist or any person who covered the whole event. So
nuances of personality traits, I bet. Right? Like, when he does a jab, he counters with this.
Yeah.
Logistical kind of in the moment stuff.
He even had a very special type of fighting, which I learned too with the guy. Yeah. And he said, he was a polite young man, very talented, very good boxer apparently, and like, if you talk to him, you would never expect to do anything like that. And he had a kid and he had a wife. So now to imagine this guy having a normal lifestyle like anybody else, to do something like that, it's just mind-boggling. You know what I'm saying?
From your research, and because I feel like you've done more intensive research in the background of this individual and his family and the character versus what can possibly be conveyed in a short hour and a half, 2 hour movie.
Yeah.
So like, based on all that research, what do you think is lacking as far as, like, because you say it's like unexpected that you would think that somebody would do this. Like, this sounds like a person that, like, maybe I would befriend if I went to the same boxing gym. Maybe I would, like, just engage with an everyday conversation as a nonchalant thing. How does that transition from your judgment and based on all your experiences as an actor and researching his part? How do you think that came from, like, this perception of, like, an everyday Joe to what happened? Like, and you say you watched, like, jihadist videos in preparation. Like, I'm curious, because I think our audience is asking the same questions. Like, how does a human being wrap their head around justifying that thing? And I don't know if there is an answer. I don't know. But I'm just asking you, like, from what your research has done, what have you kind of discerned over the years?
Well, you said it. There is no answer to that. I don't know. I don't know how one person can just change like that. I did notice that there are stages in which everything happened. He had a domestic violence charge. See,
I didn't know that. That's a big, that's important detail.
And he went back to Russia, where he supposedly was trained. And
fuck you, Russia.
And because of that domestic violence charge, he couldn't compete for the national team. So he couldn't
for boxing.
Yeah, for boxing. I think he couldn't get the green card.
So he was trying to be professional boxer.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was definitely trying to be a professional boxer. So, but at the same time, man, there was also just so much bullshit about him being a Muslim, about him being, it was all
they
bullshit.
said that one had nothing to do with it. Really,
No, of course not. Of course not. That has nothing to do with it.
From Kazakhstan or something, right?
No, not Kazakhstan. No, from they were speculating about Chechnya and
Chechnya.
He was actually Dagestani ethnic.
Oh,
But aside from all that, look, man, there is no answer to this. He was a sick psychopath that that deserved what he eventually got. And aside from that, us making this movie was about the heroes of that day, and it was about the people that got affected by it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I kind of wanted to
the reason we had to do every single character so real, otherwise it would feel one-dimensional, and it would not be as how would I say, almost satisfying.
Authentic.
Exactly. So for me and Alex, who played an amazing
shout out,
absolutely, shout out to Alex Wolf. We had such a crazy chemistry on the set. We feed off of each other.
Came through on screen.
Yeah. So we had to do our part as authentic as possible in order for the people that needed that shining light for that to come through.
Which is a testament to you guys' acting ability, where you have an actual Boston cop who lived through the experience coming up to you and saying those words and understanding the context of what's going on in that day, but still being like, this brings back my memories. And that means you're doing your job.
Oh, exactly.
And that's huge. And it's a great,
that's what I'm saying.
It's a freaky thing to experience, I bet, as an actor, because at the same time, you're like, I don't want to be known as an individual associated with this particular story, but at the same time, I'm here doing a job, and I'm doing it and I'm crushing it so well that people are associating and believing it as if it's real.
And to circle back to that, the internet feedback. Are you getting some real world kickback from actual strangers that hate you for no reason?
Yes. On Facebook, it was insane. I had to close down my Facebook, so I closed it. I had people they thought I was that guy. They thought he was still alive while in the movie. He's not. He's dead.
Yeah.
And they're like, I had messages like, you filthy terrorist. You should go back to your country. Wow. I can't believe you did that. Aren't you this? I was shocked by some, by the ignorance of some people.
Welcome to America.
You should send those messages to the Golden Globes and the Oscars hey, Golden Globes, Oscars.
We're great at
this. Roll the fuck up. Look at the people. They want me dead.
We're great at a lot of stuff, but
it was insane. It was insane. People actually thought that I actually killed people. They were like, "How did you feel killing all these people? You should be ashamed of yourself."
Crazy.
I know. How was that experience of getting from the other end of the spectrum of people supporting you because of that role?
Oh yeah,
Well,
that must have been surreal.
It's supporting as in
not like your acting ability, but thinking it's real. Thinking we support your movement. Good job blowing these people up. Blah blah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have a lot of that. I had some weird messages on Instagram, but you know what I mean. You get that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I really did not have I didn't have a lot of that. And now, now that I'm thinking of it, I can't really remember one thing.
Nobody good job, brother. Great job taking. That's right. Show those Americans.
For anyone out there listening, if you're thinking about sending Themo a message, stay the fuck away, bro.
Nobody like that.
I'm guard dog on this shit. I'm protecting you.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. After the movie came out, first of all, me watching the movie for the first time, I was like, what the fuck?
Weren't you watching the premiere with you and Mark right next to it? You guys in the front row?
Dude, we're on the red carpet. Suddenly,
tell people about the experience, because I don't think they really recognize what the inside is.
It was insane, because me and Alex, we took the limo together. We're bumping Notorious B.I.G., listening to Warning. You know what I mean? Getting ready. By the way, that's how we got ready for every single scene.
Really?
We got in the trailer. We would get in the trailer, and I have so much footage which I cannot show ever. But you know what I'm saying? We were in the trailer, and we were just rocking like A$AP Rocky, Biggie, Mobb Deep, Tupac. We would go nuts, getting pumped up, and then go out on the set. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's just how like thugs do it before they go shoot somebody. You know, listen to something to get you hyped, like something to get you turned on. Like,
no.
Oh, we about to do this?
Carl said it.
I'm about to go blow up a bunch of people on the street, son. That's right. I'm gonna bang some shit.
It was more like internally to pump ourselves up and hey, look, in that moment you're an actor. You got to do what you got to do to prepare for the part and to prepare for the scene. So it was amazing. And then going to the red carpet, I did not, or the premiere, I did not really realize it was happening until the movie started and everybody went quiet and it was like, holy shit, now there's no turning back. This is my first time watching it. And everybody else from the cast, they had already watched it, but I purposely, I didn't want to go for the earlier screenings. I wanted to watch it on the opening itself. So that was incredible. My boy, Mickey Gooch showed up.
Shout out.
He showed up.
Fearless leader.
Bro. He was there at the red carpet. He's like, yo, Tim, what's up? So he supported me. Shout out for him for that.
Nice.
So, but it was, look, all the jokes aside, man, this movie was needed. This movie was incredible. And shout out to everybody in Boston, you know what I mean, who did what they had to do that day. And
absolutely.
Yes. And shout out to Peter Berg, man. Yeah. You have no idea. This guy, choreographing these scenes and directing these scenes, and he shoots multicam, so he's so like hands-on. It's unbelievable. And when he communicates with actors, he doesn't use these big fancy words. Like he uses like, sometimes he gets into a depth of like almost like on an animal level. Like he uses like animal descriptions in order to convey what he wants to see. And actually a lot of the scenes between me and Alex were improvised.
Nice.
Really?
That scene where me and him, where I go off and I grab him and I smack him and I tell him.
That was improvised?
The whole scene from the car.
God damn.
From the car until us
Shout
leaving.
the fuck out, bro. Good job.
It was us improvising the whole thing, because we did it a couple of times following the script mainly, and then Pete, he would just come up to me, he's like, I want that coming from the gut. I want to see it in your eyes. I want it to come, let it all out. Nothing too fancy, you know what I'm saying? But somehow the way he talked to you, he would get that energy and he would give it off to you, so you could, you know what I'm saying, get pumped by it. So we improvised the whole scene. And actually, in one of the cuts, when I throw him in the car, I slammed the door too quick, so it was against his leg. So we had to like take a break for like 10 minutes because it was hurting so much. And then we did it again. And the slap, everything was unscripted. It was not in the script. It just happened that way. So and he loved that, man. Pete loves that shit, man. He trusts you, and then at the same time you gain that trust back with the director. And if you could work in an environment like that, and everybody else on the set, oh my God, was so committed. J.K. Simmons, one of the most incredible actors I've ever witnessed.
OG vet.
Absolutely. So this guy, right, who's incredible, winning an Oscar for Whiplash. So much respect from everybody. We're on the set, and I've met him before, so we had a brief chat, whatever. It was very nice. Very, very, very humble guy, very generous and talking to people and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is I'm doing the scene now with him at the end where when we have the shootout. So suddenly we're doing the makeup, and I feel a tap, and I look, and it's J.K. Simmons. He's like, hey, can I just like pitch you an idea for a second? So this is J.K. Simmons coming to me and pitching me an idea?
No, I don't have time for that. Oscar award-winning J.K. Simmons.
Like, yes, absolutely. So he's like, look, I was talking to the real cop that he's portraying, and he said when they were shooting at each other, they both had 12 or 8 bullets, and both of them ran out of bullets at the same time.
Oh shit!
That's crazy.
The same time, and my character, he threw the gun at him. So this was no one knew.
This is factual that happened in real life.
Yeah, and eventually made the cut because he told me that. I'm like,
you guys did such a great job with this movie.
So, so that's what I'm saying, man. Like when you work in that environment, it's just man, it's I'm blessed, man, and all that hard work really paid off.
And normally, as a producer, and I'm not a director, but I've been an actor and I'm a producer and a writer. So, like, normally I would say it's probably a bad idea to incorporate people from the real life event into the actual execution of production of the film, you know, because of these things. But when you get little nuances like that, when you get those hidden gems, when you get they both ran out at the same time and then he threw the gun at him, like that that's something that's a writer would write in the script. Like that should be creative fictional, but it really happened. So there's so much honor and justice by this movie done to what actually happened. I think that is one of the biggest appeals. Not only did you guys hit it out the park with an entertaining movie, an excellent job, and like, you know, I watched the movie and I knew you beforehand and I fucking hate you in the movie. So like, you did your job.
Thank you, man.
But point being is like, I think a lot of people see that on surface value and they don't realize obviously this is recreated. It's a fictional character like based on you. But at the same time, it's like, no, we took those little nuances as a way to honor the people who were actually involved. You know, you never would have expected like that story of like, oh, they ran out of guns at the same time and threw them. That's something like Tarantino would write in a script. You know what I mean? Like it's not far out of the realm of creativity, and it's almost movie aesthetic-esque. But I got to give a big shout out to everyone in Boston,
absolutely.
We talk a lot of shit. We have fun here, but we have a serious note, and I really do want to convey the fact that we got nothing but love.
Absolutely,
you know,
man. Absolutely.
And I'm so grateful that a human being like you is the one leading that charge of that character because of who you are as an individual. Like everybody might relate the character to the person and convolute things, right?
That's the thing, man.
That's the challenge because you did such a damn good job.
Yo, when I talk to people and you know when they find out that I played that character, they can't believe it. And
you don't look. By the way, go to our YouTube and look at this video of motherfucker right now, and then pull up a screenshot of that.
I gained like over like 10 kilos, which in pounds, how many pounds is that? Maybe
I don't know 20, kilos, 20, 20, 30, something like.
I went from like 169 to almost like 189.
Okay, yeah, like about 18 pounds or something.
Okay,
like
so 18 pounds. Exactly. There you go. So yeah. So yeah, changed a lot. They gave me contacts, so my eyes were completely different. The colors of my eyes. My haircut was different. So that kind of like you don't
look like the same person.
Like physically. No, I didn't. Absolutely not. And eventually also the personality. So it was a hell of an adventure, man. And again, I was only here in LA for 4 months. I was going through like the worst.
Yeah, he was doing like skits with the Skitbags.
He went from Skitbags and hanging out with us
it was going downhill, dog.
One of the biggest movies in the world right there.